Yo, what up guys, Travic here. Today, let's talk Expedition. Very recently we covered Breach and we covered Ritual, so why not go down the road and cover Expedition? Today, my original plan was to come up to Angie and go to the currency exchange and just kind of take a look around for Expedition Splinters and just see what they cost and what the boss was like and how it would be to farm the boss and see what was going on. The first thing I noticed is every boss encounter is going to cost me roughly about 2 divines to walk into. Now that's pretty crazy because the boss itself, has the opportunity to drop nothing for a whole lot of times until you hit that jackpot item. Now I saw that it was 82 splinters for 1 div, and then I went like this, and then I saw it was 200 to 21, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, what do I do? What's going on? So I got the idea. I said, let's take a look and let's look up logbooks. Now, these are all the prices at the time of recording. If you watch this video 14 days from now, I can't guarantee the same prices. But I decided to say, hey, look, let's pull up logbooks. Let's take a look at what logbooks cost. And I said, area level 79. Let's go for the nice area level. Let's see what's going on. And I noticed something. Logbooks are about 9 chaos each for eye level 81. So I was like, that's really interesting. How does this all work out and what's going on? So I came back to the currency exchange and I just decided to take a look. So it's 28 to 1. If they're 9 each, it's 9, 18, 27. That's 3 to a div. And I said, you know what? Let's just do it and see what happens. Right, so I bought, 28 chaos worth of things. I decided, let's go see if we could buy this logbook. So that one's gone already. Let's go to this one and grab one for 9 if it ports us. And let's just take a look at logbooks and what's going on with logbooks. First and foremost with logbooks are a couple of things. You can buy them with extra mods. You can buy them with all kinds of different mods, but I'm going to go into this as blind as possible and just kind of see what happens if we take the most minimalistic approach to farming logbooks and overall what's going to happen. Now, the idea is we're going to grab our logbooks, we're going to go back to our hideout, we're going to run our logbooks, and then we're going to take a look at what other kind of logbooks we can get and what's really going on. So let's go back to our hideout, assuming the lag from this gentleman's hideout allows us to port, and let's take a look at what's going on. First and foremost, logbooks have a couple of modifiers on them. You can see there's increased artifacts, number of explosives, increased explosive placement. There's all kinds of different things, and there's different zones and areas. All of these modifiers in the logbook will change and increase depending on what you're doing and give you better or worse options for things that you're going to find. But in today's video, we're just going to focus on the absolute basics of logbooks, and we're not going to stress too much about what we get or what we don't get. The idea is we want to see if we can make multiple splinter stacks in a logbook, or how many logbooks it would take to obtain enough money to run or sell or profit from doing this in terms. So to run your logbook, you come on over here to Danning, you show him your expedition map, and you give him the logbook, and then you kind of decide which one that you want to run. Now, like I said, the logbooks have options on them, and you should read the options. There are better options, there are worse options. I personally like explosive radius. I think explosive radius is really good. I like explosive range, so this book has a lot of what I want. And this one says increased quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters. Area includes 16% more runic markers. This one says increased number of runic markers, which are the little poles that stick out of the ground, which we'll see in a minute, and chance for an additional suffix, and has explosive range, and area has 40% increase in number of monster markers. So I also really like monster markers. I think monster markers are really good. We have 2 logbooks, so let's bring up this Frigid Bluffs one and just kind of take a look at what's going on. We're going to go into our logbook, and we're going to notice a couple of things as soon as we walk in. First and foremost, we're going to have explosives. We have 20 explosives that we can place all over the map. What this means is if I press V, I get this big green area, and anything lit up in green will explode. So this will come here. This explosion will be there. That will explode. This will come here. This one will explode. And I can press this to undo what I'm doing. Now, what we're looking for in Expedition is you're going to notice on your mini map, you're going to have all these little markers. So you can see these armor markers. They're on the mini map here. Let's zoom in our mini map. And what we're going to be looking for in this farm is we're going to be looking for this symbol right here. This is the expedition symbol. Ideally, we blow up as many of these expedition symbols as we can to get the runic markers for the for the fight that we're trying to do. Other things that you'll notice in here while you're doing this is you're going to have all kinds of different symbols. You're going to have this symbol right here, which is an underground. We have 2 underground symbols right there. You're going to have this orange symbol here, which is going to give us, more rarity, more quantity, big number stuff. You're going to have another symbol here, which is going to be more quantity and magic monsters. And you're going to have all these other remnants that are going to give you more modifiers along the map. So usually the biggest pain in the ass with expedition is figuring out your routing and where you want to go and kind of like how you want to tackle this. But we're going to keep this as almost brain dead as possible. And we're just going to start by going and we're going to click our first expedition chest. We're going to look for where the next closest one is. We're going to see that it's actually over there, but we peeked at this one and we saw that this drops quantity of artifacts. So since we know this drops artifacts, we're going to want to come on over to this artifact. We're going to place this up here. We'll grab quantity and pack size over here. We'll come this way. This nicely touches that. We're very happy. We're going to come over here. We're going to grab the underground area. We're going to grab the expedition mobs over here. Come on up over here. We're going to grab this. There's nothing over here, but we're going to see this is quantity of items dropped from monsters. We'll take that because why not? There's a currency chest up there, which we could go for, but we're going to skip for now. If we have more room, we could redo everything. We're going to come on over here. We're going to grab the expedition one. We're going to grab more remnants so that we have more stuff going on, and the servers are deciding that they are going to want to die. Something very important when you're doing expedition. Expedition has positive and negative modifiers. So you can see right here, the monsters are getting very strong. They're immune to certain types of damage. Make sure that when you're running these expeditions or these logbooks that you don't accidentally brick your build. I've done that a couple times where I'm trying to run these and I brick my build and I'm just completely cooked and it feels really bad. And it's just something that you want to do your best to avoid. Now you're going to notice that our placement right now is a little cooked. We're a little bit all over the place and we might have to replace everything so that we can get the maximum amount of expedition markers. If we can't get everything, we'll just replace everything and see what happens. There's that one. Come on over here. There's this one. We have one more that we can grab. So we grab this one and then that's the map boss. And then let's just make sure that we didn't miss any. I don't think we missed any. It's very easy to miss some of these. We did miss the underground area over there. That's fine. You probably want to get the underground area, but my placement in this one, like I said, is pretty bad. I just want to make it as brain dead as possible. Now, all of these mobs are going to be active and they're going to go in the order in which they explode. So you're going to see this is going to explode here first, and then we're going to get all the mobs, and then the next one's going to explode, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So we come down over here. I think it exploded up here next. Grab the artifacts, come on over to the expedition chest. We have the underground area that we can do in a little bit. There's some 5 runic markers. Come on up over here. An exalted orb. We probably realistically wanted to go for the currency chest. I know there's somebody who watches going, oh my god, you missed the currency chest. But I mean, it's gonna be fine, right? Like the goal isn't to get the currency chest. You know, if it's along the way, we're really happy, we'll grab it. If it's not along the way, we're not gonna stress too much over it. Grab this over here. We'll kill the mobs. We probably made them a little bit too hard, but that's fine. 14 runic splinters there, a falconer's jacket, and something really interesting to know while doing this, a lot of these items are showing up on my filter, and these are eye level 81 bases. Now that's really cool, and some items you're really going to want in these high level bases and allow you to do some really fun crafting. You could sell these bases, and it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that makes it really kind of worth it. Now, expedition logbooks are really cool for a couple other reasons. They're also really great leveling tools, and they provide a lot of random bases. Like you see, there's an ancestral tiara over there. We just picked up an amethyst ring. You know, we have a belt, and this one's, you know, not very good, but this has all resistance. That one missed, that missed, and you just get a bunch of stuff that you could just kind of mess around with and take a look at that may or may not end up being pretty good. There's a gold amulet, you know. You have an expedition chest here. There's a siege crossbow, and the better the books that you get and the better the modifiers that you get on your books and the better that you do your bomb placements, the better off that you're going to be in every logbook. Like I said, the goal of this one wasn't to be as min-maxy as possible. The goal of this one is to just place a bunch of bombs, see what happens, and just kind of see what we walk away with and how it is to just like go into an expedition, not think, and just start doing it. Now, something really cool is, yes, we did die in this because these logbooks are indeed, you know, technically scoured or white logbooks. We have unlimited attempts to go in and just kind of kill it as many times as we want. The big sad thing about these logbooks is if you do brick your logbook, there is no real saving it. You kind of like, you're going to need a friend if you mess up too much that can handle the mods that you put on the logbook to save it. So just double, triple check the mods that you put on your logbook and try to do your best to, you know, not brick your own logbook. Now, I'm not really going to look at too much about like these base items. We're not too worried about base items in this video. We're mostly worried about what it looks like and how many expedition splinters we walked away with. Now, without really min-maxing the remnants, without min-maxing the logbook, without making optimal lines and placements, and just kind of doing this a little bit of, you know, like very simple and very easy, we walked away with 50 splinters, 80 to a divine, and we got 50. So we're pretty much out of full divine without really trying. It takes 150 splinters to run the fight. So we're pretty close to a div. Now, I actually forgot to go into the other ground, so we're gonna go into the other ground, and then we're gonna run another logbook and overall take a look at what happens. So let's go down to the sulfur mines here. And you'll notice in these underground areas that you have the opportunity to find extra rewards. There'll be extra monsters. You'll have extra expedition chests. And there was 8 more runic splinters that we almost left behind, which would have been, you know, pretty crummy. But, you know, we're, like I said, we're not trying to min-max this right now. We're just trying to get a feel for what's going on, understand the event, see if we know what we're doing. And then we can, you know, start to perfect our placement and stuff as we go on a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And you'll notice there's all kinds of different things. Like there's another boss, there's all these other mobs we could have blew up. And this is one of the reasons why I like more explosives and explosive placement and explosive radius, because it allows you to get more of the map without thinking too much. But I figure let's just take a look at this one and what's going on. So we do our first one, we get some, you know, we get some bases that we can mess around with. We're just going to dump them off here. We get a nice little gold amulet that doesn't really do anything. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to dump all this stuff that we're not really going to worry about. And the only thing that we're going to care about, because everything else is extra, is these 58 runic splinters. Now we're going to come here. We're going to do the second logbook. We're going to see that we have quantity of artifacts, number of explosive placement, more monster art, more monster markers. What a mouthful. And then in the second one, we're going to notice that we have quantity of artifacts, increased number of runic monster markers, explosive radius, and explosive placement range. Quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters. We're not really getting the artifacts from the monsters. Those are like the materials to recom. All of ours are going to come out of the chest. So we're really interested in blowing up those chests and those runic monster markers. The monster, to my understanding, the monster markers are what we're looking for to give us more things, or like the markers are what we're looking for to give us more things. So we're just going to do this one. We're going to get explosive radius and placement, and we're just going to try to see what we walk away with. Ideally, we walk away with another 60-ish splinters, and we can say that we made our money back in 2 of the logbooks, and the third logbook that we would buy would be pure profit. Now we see this logbook's really interesting. This one has a lot of these orange ticked ones with art. You know, this one's quantity of artifacts and excavated chests. This one's actually massive. We're really going to want that one. This one over here is, you know, quantity of artifacts and excavated chests. We're going to want that one. Artifacts by monsters, kind of like whatever. Still pretty good, but not what we're going to be aiming for. Here's pack size, more pack size. Come on up this way. Be artifacts and chests. It's really good again. And then what's down over here? Monsters spawn with an additional missing life. Also very good. You know, just makes the event a little bit easier. We see there's an expedition marker in the corner there. Artifacts dropped in chests. So we know we have a bunch of artifacts dropped in chests, and we're going to want to make the most of it. Now we have an expedition marker there, and there. And we know that we have quantity of artifacts right here. And then we have expedition markers here. So we have a little bit of good placement that we can go. We're going to try to go here to this, see if we can get this, and then kind of cut back up this way, because there's nothing really down here too much that we want. There's one currency chest here. There's quantity of the artifacts there and quantity of artifacts here. So we should, in theory, maybe cut out these to get all of this up here, but we'll see just kind of like what happens with the explosive placement radius and how it goes. First thing that we notice, we can get this. We're going to come down as far as we can go here. We can get this and this. We're going to come as far as we can over here. We're going to grab this. And then we're going to try to make our way up this way and just kind of see what happens. We can get this. We're going to move our marker or explosive as far out as we can to get this and move a little bit north. This is pack size. We don't care. This is quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters. While nice, kind of not what we're aiming for. We're not going to take it because we do a whole lot of lightning damage and we don't want to accidentally screw ourselves. So we're going to grab this. Now you'll notice that I placed it just close enough to hit this, but not hit that. We're going to move our way up here as far as we can north up here. We're going to make our way over to this boss quantity of artifacts over here, dropped by expeditions. We're going to might as well get the mob one as well. And you're gonna notice that there's an expedition chest there and there, but this one says that we're gonna get more quantity of artifacts first. So we're gonna come up this way. We're gonna grab this. We'll move up this way. Unfortunately, we can't reach that without 2 bombs. So we're gonna grab that with 2 bombs. Come on over this way, grab artifact chest. We grab this one as well. We're gonna grab this one and this boss. Come on down this way. And we're gonna see, with some luck, just maybe, we can blitz our way all the way across the map now. And maybe, I doubt it, but maybe with a little bit of luck, we can get these 2 chests. So we can grab... can I not get this? How do we do this? All right, let's see. Hold on. So I put this here, and then I can put this here, and then I can put this here, and now I get everything. And I get the underground zone, and I get the 2 bosses. And we just make sure that there's no mods on here that completely brick our build. Everything looks relatively fine. And let's just kind of see what happens. We know right now that we have 58 markers, and then we're gonna blow everything up. Okay, looking good so far. Get some extra artifacts. Now we're not gonna pay attention to any of the extra artifacts or any of the extra currencies. Everything else extra is bonus, so we can just say that goes all into our pocket. And we're oh, there's a tablet. Ooh, I like tablets. Come on over here. We get 5 runic splinters there. Pretty nice. Come on over to this chest. Looks good. Moving on up this way. And then there's a boss up there. There's 5 more. There's another expedition tablet. I was gonna say a cursor. Come on up this way. Kill all this. A nice little base for us to grab. Another chest over there. Some more expedition artifact markers. Nice little emeralds so that we can play around with later. Make sure we don't accidentally get killed by a bunch of random mobs. Another expedition chest here. 14 splinters. The power of literally getting all of the remnants. Holy. Grab this one. There's nothing in there. Grab this one. Another 10. Actually wild. Holy. That's really good. Okay, these mobs are just porting us all around right now. Then we have another Gemini bow. We got a bunch of bases that we can mess around with if we choose to mess around with. We'll just take that for now. Come on over here, grab this expedition chest, grab the artifacts down here because why not? It's all extra profit. Another 12 splinters. And then we know that we have 2 more chests all the way out over here that we're gonna make our way towards and just kind of see what we have going on. And we have the underground area that we cannot forget about. So let's just kill this guy so he's not in our way. Grab this one, another 13 splinters. Grab this one, another 12 splinters. Come down to the ransom nest and see what's going on. Now, some of these expedition logbooks are going to be better than others. Some are going to be worse than others. It kind of really depends on how you roll, like how lucky you get in the rules of your expedition logbooks and overall what happens. So like if some of your logbooks are really bad, I swear they'll be better. Oh, a chaos orb XDD. I made them tink because Twitch chat. Don't yell at me. I'm sorry. And then we walk away with 141. So we got what, 60 in the first one, and then we got 80 in this one. So we got a whole divine's worth in this one, and that's 2 logbooks that we've done. We haven't even bought the 3rd one yet to cover the cost of the divine that we spent, and we've already made our money back plus some. If I were to go run a 3rd logbook right now, I would get maybe another 50-60 splinters, and I would have my 2 divines worth of splinters, and then I could just keep buying more logbooks. With the yapping and what's going on right now, the logbooks, they take about, I don't know why my timer's not on. I guess the timer doesn't work for these, but we weren't in this very long. You know, this video is 18 minutes right now, and we spent a lot of time yapping. So if you don't spend a whole lot of time yapping and you place your bombs down and you just kind of go, you can turn a really quick profit as long as you don't brick your logbooks. Now, like I said, this was something really interesting. I was just like, today's video was going to be about farming the expedition boss, but once I saw these prices and what was going on and how cheap it was to pick these up, I was saying to myself, there's no way that I can't do this, and there's no way that I can't share this. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got this information. But if you like today's video and you want more content like this, please leave a like, a comment, do all that fun stuff. It really helps the channel out a lot. And I'll keep looking for cool little quirky things that you guys can do to make a little bit of extra currency. Things coming up in the future, we have the Path of Exile 1 League, we have the POE 1 Reveal. We'll plan or prep our league starter, and then we'll kind of go from there. So for now, friends, I'm going to this video to you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.